Boys, well, I'm very excited here to be chatting this morning with Andy from the amazing COMBICHRIST. Huge fan, great catalog. Um,
Yes.
how are you, sir? What's going on?
Another day, in the life of Andy. Just I'm in the studio as I normally am. Either in the studio or I'm busy doing something else. It's the brain of someone with severe ADHD have to stay busy. So,
I feel I feel you're on. I'm in the same boat. It's either it's the two extremes, nothing in between.
yeah, exactly. No. So things are good. Just yeah, like I said, just working in the studio, working on new material, and uh, yeah, that's it.
It's never ending. I wanted to touch on your last album. I suppose you call it the self-titled album because I love the reviews when people were trying to describe the name, you know what I mean? Because they try to say it like it is self-titled, isn't it? Because I heard people they go like Kumbakus, they almost make up a word, you know what I mean? Like, but it's um
Yes,
but it was
it's
an astonishing album. So how did you feel it was received? Because I think it stripped it back and it was a bit more raw, really. I think compared to definitely after One Fire. Like One Fire was a great
yeah.
album, but this was more raw and yeah, more aggro in it. Unfiltered almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, but it's like, I'm first of all, I've gotten more or less only good feedback on it. I mean, like, you know how the internet is, so you can never be on the internet to judge it, like anything. I let the streaming numbers and sales do this talking, and it's been probably the best one so far. But I um but the most important part is like after you release it, it's like, was I really happy with it? You know what I mean? Like in the end, uh for me, the most important thing is really if I'm happy with it or not. And I, of course, when people take it in, of course you're really, you of course it's amazing. But if I'm not happy with it, then it will just never be an important part of my catalog.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes I don't say that it usually doesn't like, I mean, like, I don't feel like I released anything where I went like, oh, what the fuck did I just do? Like, but there is sometimes where I've been like, I feel different now than when I wrote this. And when it's time to release it, I feel differently than I did when I originally started writing the songs. And that could always put things a little bit in a perspective. But then as time goes on, I just like, you know what? I really do like the album. I'm glad I did the took the choices I took. And because sometimes you overanalyze things and, oh, I could have done this or I could have done that, or because since I'm mixing everything myself too, it's like it's that extra air. Like I'm always constantly sitting listening to production and stuff like this. But in the end, I'm always happy that I left it where it was. So I didn't, because it's a or it's a piece of time. It's like it belonged to a certain place in time. But yeah, I was pretty happy with it, and I feel like everything that I was really excited about, that's really what's kind of inspiring me to do this album. And that's one of the few times I've done an album where I almost immediately like, I want to write a new album
Ah,
immediately because I am inspired by what I just did. So that's a cool feeling. So.
yeah, because it is. That's what I think. What people that are not in bands, they kind of forget that time period because you're writing the songs, you're rehearsing them, and then particularly at your level where you're also, you're playing some of them live, and then for you, the production and hearing them in the cans, and then just making the adjustments, and then by the time it's actually released, it's a long time, and then by the time the cycle comes around, they're old
Right.
for you, but like you said, but you can go back and reflect. But it's a yeah, people forget that time period, don't they? Really, they think it's like it's fresh, you know, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's like, if you look at it, like One Fire was written basically during COVID.
Mm.
Um, going. I mean, it was definitely before COVID, but a lot of that music was kind of transferred into COVID again, and I don't know, like and then we can all agree that our world was so different during that time, and so that's you have to put that in perspective when writing too, and not just listening to things. So, and by the time I was done with it, or released it, then people already out of
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
that
that's
bubble,
it.
the
It's
covers bubble.
changed.
But that's when it was time for me to push the album. So it could be difficult sometimes to hit that right nerve, because I do write a lot around like being like an like an empath, like a sponge to the world in one way as an artist. Like you take inspiration from everything that is going on around you. So by the time that is released, it's not always happening around you. So other people don't necessarily have the same feeling. Then thankfully, music is so much more than just where it was inspired from. It has its own life too.
Exactly.
So
Oh,
the the baby of that time period is really timeless. So yeah.
the movement progresses on. So where are you up to with the new stuff? You're talking about that yeah, you're obviously doing some recording and that. How far away is the album, and is there any great stylistic change? Because the album we were just talking about was very front forward, you know what I mean? Like D for demonic, heads off, wolves eating wolves, and that, and the title track, which I love, Children of Violence, that was like a freight train straight in your face, you know what I mean? So and I know you're not going to do an acoustic folk album, but I mean, um, yeah, what?
Oh,
With,
don't be too sure, man.
uh,
uh, I I'm
anything's
pretty
possible.
close at I'm pretty close at times, especially when it comes to more like Americana folky or something, like touches on country almost. But no, I mean, I am. It's just doing what I always done, like in the past, and that is, I just write the music, or the music writes itself. I just kind of here for I'm just here to guide it along. Um, I just never wanted to do the same album twice,
Mm.
and so I always just trying to walk in with a little bit of open mind to where it can go. Like there was a lot of guitars. There was a lot of guitars over the last few albums. And obviously it's where that's where we're at right now. So there's definitely going to be guitars again. It's not like I'm dumping that, but there's going to be a lot of electronic stuff on this album, more so than the metal direction. But I'm about halfway, so who knows what's gonna happen. Maybe I ditch just everything, and
Yeah.
I'll do and it will be different. But as of right now, I'm working on a lot of like electro stuff, and I'm loving it. It's just fresh. It's just that I'm doing something I haven't done in a little bit, and it just feels fresh. And that you're gonna hear that on the songs too. You know, we did "Desolation" as the first single from it, and then there's the new single coming out in end of August called "Rise," and that's gonna be with a. We just finished the video, editing the video, so I just give it a go. Like, so we're good with the video, so that's gonna come out end of August, and we're probably not looking at the album until probably May, June, 2026. But
Wow.
if yeah, and it's like it's just taking its own course, like it just like it's always been. Like every album has been like that. It's just kind of written itself.
I think that's the beauty of the genre where you kind of see, whether it's aggrotech or kind of industrial, but where you've done I've seen, videos before where you've done a strictly kind of a, almost electronic set and the other side of it. But I mean, there's a lot of tangents and a lot of space in that. I think that's really good, even with a lot of modern artists, like even Three Teeth and Author and Punisher, there's so many different ways that you can dip in and you can dip back and or add something new.
And the thing with this kind of music, or where I consider Comic Christ is that this kind of music is that uh, I'm writing tracks, I'm writing songs, I'm not writing a genre.
Yeah.
So if guitars are great for a song, that's gonna be they're gonna be in there. If they don't if I don't feel like they belong, then I should also not put them in there. Like there's absolutely no need. I'm not writing this for my band members to have something to play. I'm
Yeah.
writing this to be a piece of music,
Yeah.
and whatever decision I take for each song is the decision I feel is right for it. So I could, I mean, there's no, like, I don't know, maybe when I go in the studio tomorrow, I will sit down and I will start, I'll get a drummer in here and I'll do everything. We're going to be live drums on a song. But that's only because I am, I am the only madman behind this project,
Yeah,
so I
that's
could
the
do,
beauty of it, isn't it?
do whatever I want. Yeah, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, no, no. I think that's good about that. It's not. I think it's always a disaster if as an artist or anyone, if you try to, I'm going to write this type of song or in that. It's like it's always a disaster. Like there's no. It takes away that creative approach, doesn't it? It's like we're going to sound like here. It's always a fucking disaster. You can't like. It's just it's
Yeah.
bad,
Well,
regardless.
and the thing about trying to sound like anything is that you will never be as good as the people who did it first. And
Yeah,
then by the time you do get that good, they have gone so much further ahead of you
yeah,
with
yeah,
something else. Because being, it's always like, nobody can really rip you off if you're doing something different by the time they figure out how to do it.
yeah,
So I'm kind of like, my brain is always worked in a way that if I just go ahead and I just keep doing something different, like it's never gonna be, you're never gonna be like I don't know. It's like being at the festival. You look around you, and every damn band is just black jeans and a black cut off
yeah.
denim vest and a black T-shirt that is cut off. Every single person in the backstage of the festival could have been in any of the bands. Um, it's I'm not. This is how it is, like at
Yeah,
every
yeah,
festival. And if you put that in music context, it's like you don't want to be that. You don't want to be. You don't want to sound like you could have been any other stage or any other band or any other release. You want to stand out on your own, and that's the most important part, I think. Like for me, you know.
yeah. I think even when you look at Nine Inch Nails, where they started and the creative kind of world that they've gone, it's really quite different. You know what I mean? Like it was groundbreaking, but then the shit they're doing, he's doing now and soundtrack stuff is, you know, it's
hmm
it's it's
And
always
then suddenly dropping a new single in the middle of it without
yeah,
even promoting it, and it sounds like all Nine Inch Nails. It's amazing,
yeah. I
But
know.
it's I was so surprised. It took me back. It's like, wow, this sounds like something he could have done, uh, like somewhat the feel of it at least could have been something he did 20 years ago, 25 years
Absolutely.
ago. But that's the thing too. It's like I allow myself to, like, right now I'm dipping into a lot of nostalgia, and I don't want to sit here and be like, and tell the fans that, oh, get excited, we're going back to the old stuff, because the old stuff is old stuff. Like, I mean, I am like this with bands too. It's like I love, like, let's one of my favorite band, Clutch. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
of course, I love their old stuff, Doesn't mean I can't like their new stuff, but I love their old stuff. And when they do play live, they play a lot of old stuff. They play a lot of new stuff, and it's the same kind of mix. And it's the same thing we do, or I do. The choices I take for live shows, I always make sure that all of my favorite old stuff is in there, so that old stuff will never go away. We just happen to write new stuff too. Like we can't always write old stuff. And but I am tapping into nostalgia. I'm tapping into I'm inspired by old material right now because we've been doing old school shows the last couple of years where we've been pulling out like every old song and been doing full electronic sets, and I got inspired from it. There was a vibe there, and so I'm tapping into it. That doesn't mean it's going to sound like one of the old albums. It never can be, because every single song I wrote back then and every single album I wrote back then has its own, like you said earlier, it has its own time slot. It was created on certain equipment, on certain ideas, or certain, just in general. But you can always tap into it, like I said, and that's what I'm doing right now.
That's great. So this is, I think, so yeah. So you're coming back to Australia. I think, is this the third time? I think that's what I had calculated in my head. I know the last time I seen you was like 2012 because I missed the last one, but I think you've been. Is this the third or fourth? I couldn't remember.
It's really funny because I was talking to someone else in off the Gold Coast yesterday, and
Yeah.
they were like, "This is your fifth time, right?" And I was like, "No, I think it's the sixth." And then now you say, "Is this the third?" So now I'm really confused.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, no,
Sorry about
I've
that.
been no. I believe Nev was right yesterday when he said the fifth, and I do believe that it's a fifth timer coming in. I've been once with Icon of Coil as well.
Yeah, that's yeah, that makes
Yeah. So that makes it a sixth time for me personally, but it's the fifth. I think it's the fifth time actually. We're coming with Comic Christ.
wow.
But it's my brain is like I've toured so much, so I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Nev's good. So he wins the award for the correct researcher. So I was thinking to myself,
No. We might be both wrong. It's
yeah, yeah,
probably
yeah.
four.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So you're looking forward to it? Whatever third, fifth, or
Oh
sixth
man.
time you're coming, you're looking forward to it.
Yeah. I have the real numbers soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, man. I said this too. I've said this before. If it wasn't so fucking far away from everything, I probably would have wanted to move there, right?
Yeah.
So I love it. Like I have such a good time every time I'm there, and it's just the vibes, your it's a unique mix of European and American mentality. It was just it's in one way. It's very, because you have, it's like it's so heavily influenced by British, but it also has a lot of, I feel like, almost Spanish to it. Like there's certain times you walk around in, like in Melbourne, for example, you turn in the street to feel like you're in New York, but you turn in another street to feel like you're in Madrid.
Yeah.
So and then you have the outback, and it's just like so unique to the rest of the world. I love Australia, man, and yeah, if it wasn't so fucking far away from where I work, which is basically touring the entire rest of the world, and we do that, as many times a year as we've done so far ever in Australia. So um, I would have definitely moved there,
Yeah, we're
man.
not
I love it.
we're not very central to all those locations. If for touring locations, both Europe and America, we're not very central in that way. But
Yeah.
we have other draw
Yeah.
cards. But yeah, it's a
It's so crazy. It's so crazy that you lose an entire day when you go there, and then you just win it back when you go back. It's crazy.
it is.
It's
Yeah,
like that's so like you leave on the first and you land on the third, and you fly back on the fifth, and then you're back like before you took off. It's just nothing makes sense
you can't get
going to Australia.
you can't get your head around it, can you? And it's just uh,
No,
well,
like I said, I love it, man. I'm looking forward to it. I love playing the shows. They're amazing. We always have the greatest time. Crowds are, the crowd is always super great, and I gotten to know so many people over the times we've been there, and I'm looking forward to see new and old friends. And we got Brisbane, and Brisbane is like I never knew anything about Brisbane before
yeah,
we went there the first time, and now I have something I consider a whole family there. Like I have
excellent.
really good friends. That I deal with weekly, actually, that are from
Wow.
Brisbane, and then of course, and then we're going to Sydney and Melbourne, and same thing there. Unfortunately, we're not making it uh, uh, to Perth this time, but which was I. After a while, I realized how rare that is that people actually do Australia and then go to Perth as well. So I'm just fortunate to actually have been been there, I feel.
Yeah, I think it's
Because that's like the other side of the world for everybody on the Gold Coast, right? So it's like,
oh yeah, yeah. That's it because that's what people. I mean, they obviously people that live in Western Australia and Perth, they get annoyed that the tour. They always say it's not an Australian tour, it's an East Coast tour. But it's like it's 2 days by bus across, or it's the other side of you'd never
yeah,
travel that far in Europe. Definitely in America, it'd probably be from one continent. Like it's very far. So
yeah.
unfortunately, but
Yeah, we had this idea of getting a Winnebago at some point and just drive, just to really experience it. And my friend there, he was just like, you're gonna experience 95% Outback.
yeah.
But I still think it would have been amazing. And then that's a Wolf's Creek, and I know nobody wants to go with me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, you got to do that. Yeah, it's a box to tick. Andy, thank you so much for your time. We're really looking forward to see you. Definitely, I'm going to see you in Melbourne. That's my hometown. But yeah, thanks for the chat and to be open about your creativity and all that. We're super keen to see you very soon. Thanks again, man, and look forward to what's coming next too.
Yeah, me too, man. Always the next. Like I don't know any better than you.
Yeah,
I just like I said, I just follow the music. So
that's it.
thank you so much for having me. I'll
No
see you in
worries. All
Melbourne.
right. We'll see you soon. All right. Take care. Thanks again.
Yeah,
Cheers,
sure.
man.
Take care.
We are the force that breaks and shines.